You ever get that feeling? That kind of heavy sense of suspicion or just dislike for someone, but you can't really pin down why? It's a weight a lot of us carry around. So today, we're going to unpack that feeling and we're going to figure out what's really going on inside our own heads. So here's the game plan for this explainer. We're going to start with that weird, unexplained burden. Then, we'll go searching for where it actually comes from, using this really cool framework I call seen versus heard. After that, we'll get into weighing the evidence, making a choice you feel good about, and finally, how to guard your own mental space. It's going to be a journey. All right, part 1, an unexplained burden. Let's dive right into a feeling that I bet is pretty familiar to a lot of you. Seriously, think about it for a second. Is there someone in your life, maybe a coworker or just an acquaintance, where you just get a bad vibe, even though you've never had a single bad experience with them directly? It's an unsettling feeling, right? It's just this lingering weight on your mind, on your heart. But listen, it's so important to know this is a totally common human thing. It doesn't make you a bad person, it just means there's something going on under the surface that's worth a closer look. So where in the world does this feeling come from? Well, it's not magic. Every single feeling we have has an origin story. It's time to put on our detective hats and investigate our own minds. And to really get this, there's a fantastic concept from the Urdu language, Budgumani. It perfectly describes this state of mind, this negative assumption or prejudice about someone's intentions that isn't actually backed up by your own proof. That is the exact thing we're going to be dissecting today. You know, our brains are basically these incredible data collecting machines running 24/7. So even if you can't remember one single bad moment, your mind has been quietly filing away little bits of information from conversations, things you've seen, the general environment. That burden that feels so vague, it's actually built on a foundation of data you've been absorbing, maybe without even realizing it. Okay, so if our minds are like filing cabinets, how do we start to organize all those files? Well, this brings us to a super simple but really powerful way to sort it all out. This right here, this is the key to the whole thing. Just look at how we can split our knowledge into 2 different files. On one side, you've got seen data. This is your firsthand stuff, direct experiences, things you saw with your own 2 eyes, conversations you were actually in. And on the other side, you've got heard data. This is office gossip, what people say someone's reputation is, stories you were told. The big insight here is that our brains tend to mix these 2 files up, and we often treat them as if they have the same weight. They don't. So once you've started sorting your information into these 2 mental piles, the next logical step is to actually analyze it. It's time to get a little more critical about what we think we know. I love this quote because it illustrates the point perfectly. That heard data you collected, it's not pure fact. It has been filtered through someone else's window, through their experiences, their biases, their mood that day. Just because somebody told you something doesn't make it objective reality. It's just what they saw from their perspective. So here is a practical 5-step process you can actually use. First, just admit the feeling is there. No judgment. Second, make a mental list of everything you can think of associated with that person. Now the big step. Sort that list into 2 columns, seen versus heard. Then really start questioning that heard column. Who told me this? Can I actually verify it? And finally, and this is the most important part, base your primary judgment on what's in your seen column. Base it on your direct experience. Now, the whole point of this isn't to force you to suddenly like someone you distrust. Not at all. It's about empowerment. It's about taking back control and moving from a vague, reactive feeling to a conscious, informed decision. And suddenly, you have clear choices. You could try to verify some of that heard info. You might look at your seen column and decide, you know what? Maintaining a healthy distance is the right call for me. Or you might realize most of the negativity is from the heard column and decide to consciously let it go. The power isn't in one specific outcome. The power is in you making the choice, based on a clear-eyed look at the evidence. Let's be super clear about this. This whole process might just confirm that your suspicions were based on solid firsthand evidence. And if that's the case, setting a boundary or keeping your distance isn't a failure. It's a healthy, self-protective choice. The real goal here is to free your mind from that heavy, unexamined burden and find some mental peace. Now, this mental tool we've just built together, it's not just for navigating tricky personal stuff. It's a critical skill for just about every part of modern life. Just think about it. How much heard information are we bombarded with every single day? From social media, from the news, from chatter at work? Using this seen versus heard filter helps you become a much smarter consumer of information. It protects your mind from a ton of negativity and manipulation. Honestly, it's kind of like a superpower for mental clarity. So I'll leave you with this to think about. What unverified, heard stories are shaping your reality right now? Think about your beliefs, not just about people, but about the world in general. How many are built on solid firsthand experience, and how many are built on stories you've just kind of absorbed? What might change for you if you started sorting those mental files? Now, this explainer is based on the amazing content by Sobia Noreen, though we've adapted some ideas for this format. If you're interested in going deeper with counseling sessions, her contact information is right there on the screen. And hey, please leave any questions you have down below, and be sure to follow for more explainers that help us understand ourselves a little better. Thanks so much for joining me.